Hi everyone, I'm Jagravi Singh, and this is Race to 2030. Today's episode is about Goal 9, which is Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure. The aviation industry faced its greatest decline during the past year. Passenger numbers fell more than 51% from January to May 2020, according to the UN. In developing countries, especially those with a low GDP, fewer than 1 in 5 people have access to the internet. To discuss this goal further, I'm joined by Inyeong. She's a friend of mine and a member of the Inyeong club. She is an inspiring leader as she keeps breaking barriers in whatever field she enters. During an MUN event earlier this year, she got the award for the most improved delegate, and earlier this year, she became Student Council's treasurer. She managed all this and taking 5 AP classes in 1 whole year. She certainly is a great friend to have and would provide help whenever it becomes necessary. I'm thrilled to be speaking to her, and I do know her as a friendly, warm person to talk to. Hey. Hi. So I'm gonna start by asking you the questions. Firstly, my first question is, the pandemic has obviously slowed down the ability for the United Nations to achieve their goals. Lots of infrastructures have been affected, such as school closures, job losses, and more. Through those challenges, how can we have functioning and resilient infrastructure in every community?
Well, I guess that the government should, like all the governments around the world, should be involved in helping recovering the economy. I'm not really professional to this issue, so I cannot I cannot make the direct suggestion. But I think that some governmental program should be placed to solve this problem.
Okay. One of the targets of this goal is to upgrade all industries and infrastructures for sustainability. In this new interconnected world, why are there still some countries that still deny climate change or are moving too slow to get the resources such as biotechnology to reach sustainability?
Well, I guess that still there are some countries, like developing countries, which cannot afford enough money to get the enough biotechnology, because usually biotechnology is really high, it's really high tech and it's really expensive. Yes. So I guess that even though they notice about the environmental issues they have, they cannot apply the right amount of solutions.
Yeah, I agree with you. Since this goal is also about innovation, how do you think we can encourage the young people, such as us, to get involved to find solutions to better our world?
I think that social media will be the most common common media that the teenagers can reach. So I think if someone use social media account or social media advertisements,
yes,
not the commercial, but still advertisements to promote the issues.
Yeah. Well, one question I have, just a follow-up question, is that there's some people who don't really have access to social media. So besides social media, what other ways can young people get involved?
Well, we might use some TVs, because young kids are still watching TVs or YouTube, and maybe most of the teenagers go to school, so they can be the school club or school project associated with the environmental issues.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice answer. Not all countries will have access to sustainable resources, but what can be a way or a path for countries, especially developing countries, to have sustainable practices or resources?
I'm not sure, but the developing countries usually don't have enough budget to solve this problem. So maybe some NGOs or like the international organizations such as UN or like the Monetary Fund can support them with, I don't know, support them with some money.
Yeah, it's fine. As we live in this new digitalized world, how can we make access to the internet safe and ensure that there can be true information? Because right now there is like many false information online going on.
Well, that's really hard questions.
Yeah.
Because I personally usually often tricked by some false news. Okay, so I think like the consumers. Do I need to say that consumers or like the normal people should be aware that there is lots of fake news, and they should be they should find their own way to determine if it's true or not by finding more information. I think so like what I want to say is like how to identify which is false and which is true should be depends on the consumer or like people who watch the news, because it is hard because it will be hard for the governments or like other organizations to control it. So it depends on the people.
Okay, and that's all the questions I have for asking you today. So I'd like to thank you for coming in to answer these questions. And thank you for participating in my podcast. Well, that's it for my 9th episode. I'll be back in episode 10, which is reduced inequalities. There are many ways to solve one problem, and this is something that I realized in my math classes. I encourage you all to think of creative ways to solve one problem. This can increase the likelihood of the problem getting solved, and the experience of solving it can certainly teach you a lot. Use all the resources you have to come up with big and creative solutions. Thank you, and see you all soon.